Welcome back. Our next guests are Montana State Auditor Matt Rosendale and Sherry Meyer, Investigator, Montana Commissioner of Securities and Insurance. Thank you, Matt and Sherry, for being here today.
Thanks for having us in, Lisa.
Wonderful. Well, Matt, can you tell us a little bit about your role as State Auditor?
Well, the first thing I like to clarify any opportunity that I get is what the office actually does. The Montana Constitution identifies us as the State Auditor's Office, when in reality, we don't audit anything. My own title is the Commissioner of Securities and Insurance, and what the agency does is they're charged with being the consumer advocate or the regulator for the securities and insurance industry. And we basically are the watchdog to make sure that we can identify fraud or illegal activities within those industries and protect the consumer.
Good information. I always thought there was an audit going on as well, so thank you for that. So tell me a little bit about how you do work to protect the consumers from insurance and securities fraud. I'd like to hear about that.
Well, I'll tell you, we are very fortunate to have a group of incredible public servants that work at the agency, and we are a criminal justice agency, so we have the authority to investigate and prosecute these crimes, which very few other departments do have that authority. So while it's good to see the prosecution take place, every home needs to be built on a solid foundation, and where that prosecution begins is with our great investigators. And we've brought one of those with us here today, Sherry Meyer, to talk about some of the things that folks can watch out for so that we don't even get to the place where we have to prosecute. Maybe they can catch them ahead of time.
Great. Well, thanks for coming again, Sherry.
And thank you, Lisa.
You bet. So it's great to have you with us. Let's talk a little bit about the common types of insurance fraud that consumers should be aware of and what they should look out for.
Okay, well, there are 4 common types of schemes out there with insurance fraud. We see agent broker insurance fraud. We see the fake insurance companies and associations. We see individuals who decide to commit consumer insurance fraud. And then we also see service provider insurance fraud. To give you a little bit of description of each, the agent broker insurance fraud, in the state of Montana, you have to either be licensed to sell, to negotiate, and to solicit any type of insurance plan out there. Oftentimes we get individuals who determine that they don't need those licenses. They're going to come to the state of Montana either via internet, phone calls, and or in person. And they're unlicensed. They've not gone through that licensure. They're there for one thing, and that's their personal gain. And so if you receive a phone call from an individual, first and foremost, do not give private information over the phone. If you get pushed by them, ask them for a phone number, ask them for their insurance license number, and ask them for their specific spelling of their name. Those 3 things you can also then take and verify through the Commissioner's office. Contact our office. We have a list of all licensed agents and brokers in the state of Montana. Secondly, we have licensed agents. And it's been unfortunate, but we do have insurance agents take advantage of persons. They do so in 2 different ways. We've seen individuals who misrepresent the product, or they misrepresent something on the application process. They do this because they earn a commission for every policy that they sell. So it behooves them to get that policy in place, one way or the other. We've had instances where individuals are harmed to the point that they might have a claim denied or actually have their policy rescinded because they've signed on the dotted line and accepted whatever was attested to in that application. So again, always a very good idea to read. Take the time. If the agent doesn't like you reading, that's too bad. That's your business, not his. Secondly, we've seen situations where premium is stolen. It's very easy to do. An insurance agent is to keep a trust account, a fiduciary trust account. If you pay that insurance agent and all of a sudden you realize you're not getting an ID card, you're not getting your policy, maybe a certificate of insurance, ask that agent. And if you're not getting the questions answered the way you think you should, follow up either by contacting the insurance company direct or contact the Commissioner of Securities and Insurance, and we'll investigate it for you. I've talked about the fake insurance companies. Insurance companies who contact a person, or associations who contact a person, they may come out there and sound like a company that's already existent. Like the agents and brokers, the insurance companies have to be either licensed or registered with the state of Montana. So again, we have all the names. If you have a question and you think that perhaps somebody's given you a wrong answer, contact the insurance commissioner's office and we can verify the registration or licensure of that insurance company. First and foremost, we always tell people, do not give personal information out there. Don't give your bank account. They just take the premium and have no intention of paying a claim out there. Unfortunately, we see consumer fraud. As the Commissioner of Securities and Insurance Office, we are a member of the National Insurance Crime Bureau. And according to the National Insurance Crime Bureau's statistics, 10% of all insurance claims that are filed are fraudulent.
I'm sorry we're out of time today. I'd like to thank my guests. We'll talk to you next week.
Healthy Living for Life is brought to you by Mountain Pacific Quality Health. We'd love to hear from you. If you have suggestions for future programs, visit our website at mpqhf.org or call us at 406-443-4020. You can also catch us on YouTube by visiting our website and clicking on the YouTube icon. Special thanks to Fire Tower Coffee House and Roasters. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions.